But then the lands are the big part too.
Yeah.
With Mazavith, with Caracas, with Wasteland, and Neither Reliquary being able to find them all.
Yep. So Michael Eades on the left-hand side. He's up a game with Bug. Looks like he's in the process of mulliganing here. His deck actually has surprisingly little for this matchup. He has another Engineer Explosives he can bring in. That seems good. He also has 2 copies of Crop Rotation to find both a single Caracas and money bags over here, also equipped with a single Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. So I assume that Tabernacle is coming in here. It wouldn't surprise me if this was more of a bullet for Empty the Warren strategies, but certainly the Maverick deck has enough creatures in it where Tabernacle is a card I would want to draw.
Sure, sure.
So he is looking at a hand. He has a land plus a Crop Rotation. I can't. Oh, and the Tabernacle. He's got it all. All right. And Tabernacle, because of the mandatory trigger rules, often is just a free Wrath of God. Yeah, especially if it's an Italian. The Italian one rarely do cards from different languages have different power levels. The Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale, absolutely different. If you want to win, I suggest getting the Italian one. Your opponent is losing all their guys.
Wait, where'd that come from?
Yeah. What does that card do? Just all your guys are dead. That's all right.
As we're going to see a turn 1 Noble Hierarch here from Glen to get the show started. Best thing that this deck can be doing on turn 1 is either that or Grandson's anything for a Dryad Arbor. So yeah, a good start for him.
So we'll see if we lead with a mana producing land, or do we try to slow down his development a little bit with the Tabernacle?
He does pull the Tabernacle forward.
I mean, he's sort of stone running himself by leading this way.
Yeah, I don't really love this lead. There's Noble Hierarch that can tap for mana anyway.
I mean, it depends. It keeps him off Night for the second turn.
It does keep him off Night for the second turn. There is that.
Come on, Glen.
Oh, there's the trigger.
Come on, Glen.
And for those of you guys that haven't seen Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale, it makes you pay 1 for your creatures on your upkeep. It does not tap for mana. It just sits there and looks very pretty and expensive. Glen is going to draw a card here. He's going to draw Plains. We're going to see a Wasteland.
Right.
And I think we're going to see a Green Sun Zenith here for Dryad Arbor as well.
Yep. The Bug Landstill deck, surprisingly, Engineer Explosive is sort of covering this, but surprisingly 0 copies of Pernicious Deed anywhere in the 75.
That is a bit surprising.
Yep.
So Zenith gets shuffled back in. Standstill drawn from Michael, and now he's going to have to actually play a game of Magic.
Yep. Glen, congratulations on passing the Tabernacle test.
Never easy.
You had a moment's hesitation there, but you were able to do it, and we salute you.
And there is Dryad Arbor, the land creature that can be searched for via green fetch lands. As we're going to see 4 mana here, we are going to see Throne the Last Troll. Ain't countering that.
I don't even know if we have any. We basically have Diabolic Edict as our way to get out of that one.
That's going to be tough.
It's a challenge.
Yeah,
it's asking a lot.
With the Dryad Arbor and a Noble Hierarch there on the table already.
Oh, we have 3 copies of Liliana as well. So we might be able to cobble together enough Edicts and Spot Removal here.
Okay.
But it is asking a lot with Dryad Arbor and Noble Hierarch as protection.
And having 1 land so far.
Yeah, and also not having any lands is tough too.
May make it slightly difficult.
Yeah.
So we see Misty Rainforest get sacked on the end step for Michael, searching out an Underground Sea.
I'm no prognosticator, but I do believe this will be challenging for Michael to pull off.
And we're going to see a Tropical Island for his draw step. So he's going to have to wiggle his way out of this because this is a relatively quick clock because of Exalted from Noble Hierarch. It is going to be an attack for 5 over the course of 4 turns. So he's on a 4-turn clock at this point in time.
And there is a Thalia.
In we go.
This is not too shabby.
Gonna knock Michael down to 14. Thalia, Gaddock, 2 Thalias, a Gaddock Teeg, and I believe a Green Sun Zenith in Glen's hand. So his hand very, very good this game. I think if I'm Glen, I think I want to lead out there with a Thalia. How about you?
Yeah, Thalia is where I would start.
You know, there is the temptation to Green Sun Zenith for 3 here to go get a Knight of the Reliquary, but I don't think we need Knight of the Reliquary to win this game.
Yeah. I would also be just, even though he doesn't have it in his 75, Pernicious Deed would be something on my radar too. So
Sure.
I would just be trying. Thalia does some work in preventing that if that were a possibility. Another copy of Standstill, not at its best currently.
Standstill is one card, and Joey Pascal and I talked about this last week. It's funny because Standstill is either like the best card ever or the worst card ever.
Yeah, I mean, there's no range on that thing.
Yeah, and that there aren't a lot of cards like that in Magic history that I can think of. I know there might be some that you can think of. That it's like when Standstill is good, it's just unbelievable, and when it's bad, you can't believe that you're playing in your deck.
I think that coin flip card from Weatherlight, where if you win 5 in a row, you win the game.
Oh,
that's in the same. That's in roughly the same range.
Yeah, that one's seen a lot of tournament play, so I'm glad you brought that to the forefront.
Hey, you asked, man. Can't think of another card like that. You just said Magic's history. You should have clarified. Inside of competitive play, yes, what you're saying is true.
As we're going to see a Scavenging Ooze
Ooze
now.
the man.
Yeah.
Ooze the boss.
We're going to see an Abrupt Decay take care of Thalia here.
All right. Let's see if Michael can break out of this. A Winter Factory?
Are you impressed?
I mean, you know, it's fine. If we're gonna ball, I'd rather him step his dual land game up a little bit. But the Winter Factory is a nice touch.
The factory is the easier place to start.
That's sure.
Than going to the beta duels that you're forcing him to get.
I didn't say any. I said nothing about forcing.
And so we're going to see Scavenging Ooze remove the Tabernacle. Scavenging Ooze still staying at a 2/2. Interesting card. The Scavenging Ooze is a card that is in, I believe, the Commander set.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah, something obviously never released in Standard. A card that kind of a lot of people overlooked, and then once you start playing with it, it does all of these things. It's actually incredible.
Particularly given how graveyard-oriented a lot of Legacy decks are.
Yeah. It gains life. It gets bigger. It removes graveyards. It's a very impressive card for 2 mana 2/2.
Yep.
As we see crop rotation, more standstills. I think a Force of Will potentially in Michael's hand as well.
It's not good.
It's a lot of do nothing.
Yeah, a lot of do nothing.
There's Gaddock Teague, Kithkin Advisor, a good friend of mine.
Yep.
We've never teamed up before, but we're still pals.
That's surprising.
Doesn't work out very well at Spectral Procession. He was actually an enemy of mine.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So I guess we're like, what do we do here? We're crop rotating for another factory?
Yeah, could be factory time here.
But we still can't. The Thrun just runs it over, right?
Well, it doesn't have trample, but it does take
But
care
I mean,
of
it runs it over like it kills it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do anything to the Thrun.
Yes.
Okay.
Just buying some time. What factory is that?
Oh, he's got all 4 probably then. Okay, that's very nice. That's
is that like a summer one? Like I'm not very.
I think that's.
I know the winter. I know it's the winter one because it has snow, but I don't know the other ones.
I feel like that's the spring factory, but I am not positive.
Okay. So we see factory jump in front here, or at least making an attempt to jump in front.
Is that a Flusterstorm in his hand?
That is a counterspell.
Oh, that's some alt art.
Yes.
Dealy.
A beautiful one with Jace on it. So we see Thrun take down the Winter Miniatures Factory. Thrun standing tall on this board, going to be able to regenerate
Maybe that's
at a moment's notice.
It's going to really bother me that I can't identify that art.
Yeah, well, you're old, so it's okay.
But that should be right in my wheelhouse.
Good point.
I have seen packs of antiquities open in my, as a carpet. Yeah. No kidding.
You shouldn't tell people that. And we're getting in here for what looks to be a lethal attack.
Yeah. I think we have an Abrupt Decay in our hands.
He did just draw an Abrupt Decay this turn. Yes, he did.
We're still in, we're still just chumping.
Players, we are now taking silence for our draft challenge. That's a
Abrupt Decay going after... Going to go after Gaddock Teague.
If you're interested in playing this event, please come see me at Side Events.
With Summer.
We're being informed it is a Summer Mistress Factory. Clearing that up. Summer Factory to the graveyard. Thrun eating all the seasons now.
Yep. A man for all seasons.
Yes, he is. We're going to see Athalia post-combat.
Sometimes it doesn't matter how much, card advantage, whatever sort of 2 mana, 2 mana, 2 mana. There we go. Any sort of board advantage, how much card advantage your deck generates. Sometimes Thrun just shows up and lays the wood. All right, Maverick taking game 2.
So we're gonna see a third one.
Yep. How many Thruns does he have? One. Just
Uno.
One main.
1 through the 75. Obviously, a good draw to naturally draw it there, but it can also be searched for with Green Sun Zenith, so I can understand why there's only one in the deck list.
Sure, that's also not good in every spot.
No, certainly not. It is a 4-mana threat in a format defined by 1 and 2 mana spells, so it just happened to look extremely good that game, and it is extremely good against opposing control decks.
Yes. I mean, Michael certainly has some, like I said, Michael certainly has some amount of game against it because his deck is actually reasonably edict heavy. And his standstill should be a lot better now that he's on the play.
Now, this is the kind of deck, do you feel that Maverick is good at preying on? Because I know that Maverick is, you know, good against a very certain, like, subset of decks. Do you think this is one where it has an advantage with Thalia and with its disruption?
I mean, you know, Michael's deck is pretty wasteland soft. And so that influences the matchup quite a bit. I actually think Michael does have reasonable game because I feel like Maverick is fairly soft to Planeswalkers, and he should be in much better shape on the play here because he can just throw down an open standstill. And in the absence of Thrun, all of Glen's threats are reasonable for Michael to handle. So if I was on the play with the bug deck or on the draw with the Maverick deck, I'd rather be on the play with the bug deck.
Okay.
But clearly the Maverick deck is capable of draws that can easily overwhelm Michael's defensive measures. So
as you see both players shuffling up here for what will hopefully be an epic game 3. Michael will be on the play on the left-hand side with his Bugland still deck. For those of you just tuning in at home, we are here in Seattle, Washington. I am Cedric Phillips, joined by Patrick Sullivan.
Howdy.
We are in round 4 of 8 of Legacy today. We've already crowned a Standard Open champion, winning with Bant Control. And we are getting through our Legacy tournament. We already have the first half of our feature today. Corbett Gray winning 2-0 against Joe Lassette in rather humorous fashion, all things considered.
Joe's hands were good, but not good enough.
So we're going to see Michael and Glenn battle out here, looking for one of these players to move up to 4-0.
And we've drawn, looks like we've naturally drawn, oh, we still have Deathrite Shaman in the deck?
That's a bit surprising.
Yeah, I feel like this is not the best matchup for it.
I mean, the thing about Deathrite Shaman in this particular format is it is basically a noble hierarch.
I think one of the best, I think one of the best ways to win against Maverick is just going ultimate with Jace if you're with a stable board.
Sure.
I think that's the best path for control decks. I really don't like having the random creatures in my deck because Maverick is, you know, they're going to have some amount of plows in their deck, and just drawing these random 1/2s, some of the more low power draws in your deck. Then again, it's not like Michael has a ton of cards to sideboard in, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the first of this weekend. I'm actually going to disagree with you pretty heavily, honestly, because I like that with Deathrite Shaman, that's going to be able to remove lands from Glen's graveyard to make Knight of the Reliquary smaller. It being able to remove the creatures, him able to gain life, he can accelerate into a turn 3 Jace, which we think is one of the more important cards in the matchup. I actually like it quite a bit here.
I mean, I would be apprehensive about having it over a removal spell or a counter spell. Or all right, so we have a turn 0 white Leyline.
Leyline is saying that he is safe from all things. As Michael is going to take a look at that, and we are going to show it to you guys as well. It's basically an Ivory Mask. Can't be the target of spells or abilities, but you can put it into play on turn 0.
Personal Ivory Mask.
As we are going to see the turn 1 Deathrite Shaman.
And we've just drawn another white Leyline, so.
Slightly awkward. And we're going to see a Wasteland here take care of the Tropical Island. Deathrite Shaman on the screen for you guys, a card that most people are going to be familiar with across all formats, honestly. Seeing play in Standard, Modern, and Legacy.
Also, another issue with the Deathrite Shaman is he's got the sweet Tabernacle Deathrite Shaman Nambo.
Well, that is a little awkward. As we do see a Caracas here from Glen, just passing the turn back.
Drew an Underground Sea. That's a very good draw. I believe the only land that he had left was the Tabernacle.
Yep. It's funny. It's kind of hard to even call Tabernacle a land, right? Like it is a land, obviously, but it's weird.
And it's a 0-mana indestructible artifact. Is much closer to.
It looks like he's contemplating, am I going to send Deathrite Shaman over or not? Am I going to activate it? I don't think it has anything to activate on, so I don't know. I guess he can add mana.
Yeah. There's a Windswept Heath. That is a big draw as Glen was without grain mana.
Now you saw the Michael board in. Excuse me. You saw Glen board in a Leyline of Sanctity, and we had joined it during the sideboarding of Game 2. Is there anything in particular that he's boarding that card in for? Because I know you have Michael's deck list in front of you.
I don't know, maybe Liliana?
Okay, so just target player can sacrifice a creature, it blanks that. It blanks Jace, Fate Sealing Glen, which is like fine, but Jace can still Fate Seal himself and grow.
Yeah, Jace is not at any like loss for things to do.
Yeah. As we see a Noble Hierarch here from Glen. Trying to see if there's anything else. There isn't really a ton else that it's going to be able to do.
Yeah. Tabernacle doesn't target, so.
Yeah.
So we see a Brainstorm. So I assume we're going to be putting back Crop Rotation and Tabernacle, since the rest of his hand is like functional and that's not especially good. He was looking at Tabernacle and Deathrite Shaman. I guess that's fine. I guess that makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Because the second Deathrite Shaman certainly has not that much utility, but probably do something with a Crop Rotation.
So we're going to see Brainstorm resolving here.
Deathrite Shaman's already been put back. Looks like Crop Rotation was the other card.
Bit of a surprise there. We're going to see Deathrite Shaman remove. Just going to remove one swap.
Oh no, he put the Tabernacle back.
Okay.
And kept Crop Rotation.
Yeah, it's going to remove one swap. Then he's going to go crop. He's going to go Edicting. Okay. That's going to be tough because target player cannot sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it's saying.
All right, well, Leyline, I guess, pulled a little bit of weight. Hold on, are they letting him go back and Brainstorm differently?
No, I was on the end step.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, sorry.
So we see Glen draw a Force for the turn. He has another Reliquary in his hand, along with a Scavenging Ooze, another Leyline of Sanctity, and what looks to be a mystery card, the one all the way in the back there.
A Scrib Ranger, maybe?
And it may be a Scrib Ranger, yes. We're going to see a Kitchen Finks.
Some Finks in the sink.
So that looks like that may be the other card that was in his hand. So we're going to see Misty Rainforest get cracked, I believe, in response. Kitchen Finks, a card that most of you guys at home are probably familiar with, the 3/2 Persister Life Gainer.
Any of you modern grinders have seen this guy probably a couple times.
Or if you've played Standard many moons ago.
Creature dash oof.
You don't see that one very much anymore.
No.
But I feel like there's probably an oof set coming in the near future.
Yeah. Alright, counter spell, Life from the Loam and Wasteland.
Oh, so he may turn the Wastelands on the other side of the table, start Wastelanding Glen to death.
I mean, Wasteland Tabernacle is not a bad place to be against Glen's board.
We're going to see Counterspell on the Kitchen Finks here. Deathrite Shaman removing Glen's other land to help pay for that. And now we're going to see an attack from Noble Hierarch for 1.
You're right, though. The Shaman's doing some good work in this game.
It's an interesting card. It just does a lot of different things. So we see Wasteland drawn here.
I mean, I would want to just Wasteland Loam here. Start squeezing him.
Start squeezing him, start getting some cards back in your hand.
Yep. And set up Tabernacle for next turn, maybe.
Sure.
We're only loaming back these 2 lands, so I assume that means we're not doing anything with the Wasteland this turn.
Attention players, in $10 draft number 5, your event has fired. It's already up here at the
All right,
stage.
Verdant Catacomb.
Once again, players in $10 draft number 5, your event is ready.
I assume we have to go get a Savannah here because we can't get a Plains.
Yeah, it looks like that's probably going to be the case, assuming that he does need another white mana.
Well, certainly getting the 3rd Forest doesn't really do very much for... Oh, we're going to get an Arbor? Okay.
A little beat down on. Again, we do know that Glen's hand is a Knight of the Reliquary, a Scavenging Ooze, and a 2nd Leyline of Sanctity. And we are going to see a Scavenging Ooze.
Not too shabby against Life from the Loam.
Not too bad at all. Actually, you can take care of that right now. Pound. Unless Michael has a way to draw cards at instant speed.
Yes, and this is why that's I believe a subtle mistake by Glen there. He probably should not have fetched his land first, because if he has like a Brainstorm or some cantrip to get his loam back, he probably just wants to crack and go get a Savannah or a Forest to eat again in response.
Sure.
Instead of letting him loam.
Sure.
And then if nothing happens, then you can go right ahead and go get your Dryad Arbor, whatever. But
yeah. Just a minor hiccup in sequencing, you think?
Yeah, that's not a big thing or whatever. It's possible even if he brainstorms his loan back, you're still happy doing that, but you might as well wait for full information.
Sure. And so we're going to see Deathrite Shaman get activated here. The black ability removing Brainstorm. And he's going to hit Glen for 2. Because again, it does not target it. We see a standstill drawn here now for Michael. We're going to see a Wasteland. Taking care of one of Michael's 2 white sources, leaning heavily on Noble Hierarch now.
Yep.
Now we're going to see a crop rotation.
Yep. I assume we're getting Tabernacle here.
This might be time, yeah.
He just squeezes mana.
And there it is.
Although I'm a little surprised he got rid of his factory, because he has Standstill in hand.
Yeah, that one was a little surprising to me as well, actually. I don't think that color is ever going to be an issue for him because of Deathrite Shaman and the other lands that he has in play.
Yep.
So I think he can afford to keep one colorless land.
Right.
And we are going to see Standstill now.
Because yeah, I would much rather keep... I feel like I would much rather keep...
I think I'm with you, right? Like I think he wants the 2/2 as
Wrath of
well.
God.
Yep, and the creatures are dead because he drew. But this is the it was like foreshadowing.
Yeah. Tabernacle.
Now Glen draws his card. He's gonna have to sack the 1/1 piece for a white, so he did not pass a Tabernacle test this go around.
Claims another victim.
Claims quite a few.
I mean, that was really weird because we were actually in a position where...
I thought he was in a position where he was kind of ahead, as we're going to see Knight of the Reliquary break the standstill.
Yep.
I'm going to draw a Misty Rainforest, a Factory, and an Underground Sea.
Seems actually not very good.
No. He does not do very much. We're going to see Deathrite Shaman here remove Brainstorm. 2 more to Glen.
How does that happen? Does White Leyline not stop
Deathrite
that?
Shaman does not target.
Oh, it's just all opponents?
Yep. Hell of a card.
All right, so we've just drawn what I believe is probably going to wrap this up with an Engineered Explosives. Also, isn't his Deathrite Shaman's dead now, right?
Deathrite Shaman is dead because of Tabernacle. Neither player can pass the test. And we are passing that down along to our spotter. So we are going to see an Engineer Explosives here. And so let's see if Glen can pass the Tabernacle test now.
This is all right.
Attention Legacy Open players, that is time in round
Another
4.
White Line.
That is time in round number 4. Active player finishes their turn.
So we're going to see Knight of the Reliquary come across for some damage. And just 2 white ley lines in Glen's hand, but Engineered Explosives on 3, going to be taking care of that Knight of the Reliquary momentarily. I probably just want to take care of it on the main phase so it doesn't get an activation. Alternatively, I guess you can make them pay 1 via Tabernacle and try to take care of it, but I'd rather have it dead, and it's dead.
All right, it's dead.
So if you don't own one, Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, it's currently worth $165 to $200.
No, it's like an English one's like if it's clean, is like $350.
Worth every penny.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we see a Liliana of the Vale come into play here. Each player discarding a card, Liliana potentially moving up. We're going to see a Gaddock Teague here from Glen. Bit of a non-bow with those Leyline of Sanctities, but he already has one, so I guess it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, you got to discard the other one to Liliana, so, you know, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, how lucky. I believe that was a Dark Blast drawn from Michael. Liliana going to go discarding.
Another Leyline, excellent choice. All right.
Pass the test?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We actually got some game if we can find a wasteland. We're right in it.
All right, in goes Gaddock Teague.
I think it's just going to die. Just pump. You're just going to pump. Can you just block and pump the factory? Maybe he's got a plow in his hand, I'm not sure.
I see a Dark Blast.
Ooh,
I think it's a new factory.
Okay. All right.
All right, no checking for Tabernacle, nothing. Michael draws a card as a Spell Snare. Liliana moving up. Discarding a Tropical Island. Factory free to get in for 2.
Yep.
Knocking Glen down to 11 all.
So basically, we need just a white source of mana so we can cast Elspeth. He doesn't. I guess Liliana's about to go ultimate.
Depending on if Liliana's ultimate targets, I'm not 100% sure if it targets or not. Separate all permanents target player controls. Yeah, so
Liliana's
it's just a card that makes both players discard cards right now.
Disrupting Scepter for both players.
Yeah.
So our Elspeth is very live.
Super live. Explosives being on 3, not the right number.
Well, it was, but that was because there was
because of Knight. I'm aware. As we see a Kusali Pride Mage here, and that's going to get spell snared.
I'm not sure why you would cast that, since now the Liliana gets to eat the.
Yeah, he gets to take care of the Elspeth. Yep. No reason to cast that. Elspeth is his game-winning card.
Yeah, Elspeth is actually excellent here.
So we do see a Wasteland here. Liliana gonna try to ultimate. We are gonna try to stop that because can't do that. But Glen is on it. Player's likely just a little bit nervous being in the feature match area.
Yeah. I'm not sure if there's some sort of, I'm not sure if he received a warning here earlier for attempting to target him with the white ley line already. I think the judge is just saying, no, just
attack with your Mistress Factory.
Yeah.
And now Michael's taking a look at his hand. He's saying, do I want to tick this up? But realistically, Diabolic Key doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elspeth goes to the graveyard. We're going to see a Scavenging Ooze. It's likely
not a bad draw.
Can't be Force of Will because he only gets 4 mana. So Scavenging was actually a pretty decent draw. So we see Engineer Explosives off the top here.
We're just going to blow that thing up.
Yep. For 2, take care of the Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze is going to remove something, probably gain himself a life. Going to move up to 10. And then we should see a Factory activation here.
And the Factory in, knocking the clock down from 5 to 4 turns. We've just drawn a Knight off the top, but we still have our explosive
on 3
here. So
Academy Ruins the card drawn here from Michael.
And Academy Ruins should pretty much cover all the bases going forward because he has Engineer Explosives in the graveyard and 3 different colors of mana. And with Mike at, well, I guess I was gonna say if we could get the Liliana, but I guess we just had to get the Knight off the table.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Liliana doesn't do anything. As we see Guardian of Thraben. I mean, Explosive is going to kill every card that Glen plays now.
We get our Dark Blast back here?
Yeah, I mean, he can get his Dark Blast back, he can get Explosives back. I would prefer Dark Blast, given the option, because it's cheaper. But we are going to see Engineer Explosives put on the top of the library. And so now the fun thing here is the Engineer Explosives trick that we saw VD do in Las Vegas, where he could play Engineer Explosives for 1, has to pay an additional mana because of Thalia, and then it would be 2 because of Sunburst, and so he could have actually played and blown Engineer Explosives this turn. But Thalia is dead because no one can stop the Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale. No one.
Thalia's dead.
Yep. You said it was $350?
A steal at twice the price.
Yeah, I bet. I bet it costs a lot more right now.
Yeah.
As we see a polluted Delta drone. That value will disappear off the table in just a moment. We're radioing it down.
All right, we gotta stop.
We gotta stop the game state real bad.
We're also still taking signs for the draft challenge. If you play a call draft this round.
So we see an attack here. We may have gone too far at this point now. We're going to see a green Sun Zenith for 1.
Zenith gets shuffled in.
And Glen shuffled in. We apologize for not being able to stop that fast enough for you guys. Sloppy play on both sides of the board here.
So a pair of Hierarchs, pretty juicy target for Mikami Ruins for Engineer Explosive rebuy.
All right.
There it
And
goes.
looks like we have, I believe a winner was announced. I'm not entirely sure. I saw a handshake. I
It
think
might have been a draw on time.
it may have been a draw. It may have been Michael. It may have been Glenn conceding to Michael, bringing back Academy Ruins over and over and over again. Either way, we will get a victor announced.
Oh yeah, it looks like they've signed the slip 2-1. So
2-1 for Michael.
So Michael Eades, and the Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale.
One of the best lands I've ever seen.
That was an impressive performance.
Yes, it was. Understated how good Tabernacle could be.